Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Unfiltered with Bridget
and Angie. And today we want to do a little touch base on the market. I feel like that question comes across literally every day because the market is a very volatile topic. I feel, so it's not easy to say what's going to happen. It's kind of one of those where you got to kind of go with the flow. You can't really control what the market does. All you can do is prepare yourself, and get yourself set up for when things turn in your favor, because I guess when I say your favor, because right now the market could be perfect for somebody. Another person can be like, well, I need to wait for X, Y, and Z. So it all depends on your situation, I feel.
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and the market is ever changing, and when you say changes like the wind changes directions, right now that's legit. That's
literally true. What's happening. Literally.
For sure.
And that's one thing that I feel makes our job, it's never a dull day in the real estate industry, and it's always something different every time. So I guess right now, with it being March, when the spring market usually is picking up around now, right? Because we both have buyers waiting for houses to hit the market.
Correct.
Where are we right now in regards to availability, like for houses, just in general? Like, do we even have that many on the market yet? It hasn't hit yet.
No, I mean, a few have come on recently, but right now inventory is still pretty low. Yeah. So that's the hard part. And it seems like right now a lot of my buyers are below 300. I'm talking like 250,
so are mine.
280 max, and then below. So to find those buyers a home right now is really hard. And when they do come on the market, they're gone. Like,
so we're still
right away.
There's still some multi-offer bidding on certain price ranges, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, if your house is priced just right for the condition, yeah, then you're going to get multiple offers and it's going to be off the market like right away. If you still, as a seller, still think that it's COVID prices and way overpriced, we're going to be sitting for a little bit. Right now, it's kind of, with sellers, it's hit and miss on the best way to price it. Right now, the best thing a seller can do is work on their pricing strategy, make the price, good.
Right. Like, where people are going to walk and be like, oh, I would not pay this for.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like I always tell all of my sellers before listing a house, walk through your house and try to like detach yourself that it's your house. Just walk through and go, would I pay what I'm asking?
Right.
I mean,
and I feel like a lot of people now are more realistic on that. Like, gone are the days of COVID, and that was just insanity. But again, that was not normal.
Correct.
And I feel like a lot of people think that was normal, but it's far from it.
Oh, yeah.
Like the rates at 2.8, and the houses are going 50 grand over asking or whatever over asking, and they're gone within 20 minutes. Like, that was a very insane time, but that's not normal.
No, it's
kind of. I guess you've been in it for 6.5 years. Is this kind of where we're at now? Like
7.
The amount, 7 years, sorry, that we are, is this kind of normal? I think we've kind of eased into a little more of what the market is normal, or no?
I think, I think we're going back to what it was pre-COVID.
Oh, that's what I'm wondering. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think we're starting to go back there where houses don't go
instantly.
Right. Houses are sitting a little bit, and interest rates, even though they're at 6%,
you're in the upper. I mean, they vary a lot. I mean, it's been quite the roller coaster, but we're still like upper 5s, mid 6s, like not terrible.
No, that's not.
But
bad.
It's not 3.2. So it's kind of trying to get out that mentality. Like, we're kind of back to where it was. Like when I bought my first house in 2014, we were at 4.7. So I mean, we're tracking.
Really? Oh. When I got my first house, I think we were at 9%.
Yeah. See, so I feel like everything is leveling. Like we're getting back to what the norm should be. And I think it's important to educate people that COVID is not a standard you should hold anything to when it comes to the market, because that's not how things normally go.
Right, exactly. And right now it's usually in a good market that's filled with inventory or supply, however you want to say it. You've got your higher priced homes, you've got your middle priced homes, and then like your lower priced homes. Right now, what we're seeing is lower priced homes that need a lot of work and they don't qualify for government backed loans. Or we've got your higher priced homes where the pool is smaller, and so they are sitting longer. Your homes that are in the threes or higher, they are sitting more like, I would say, 60 to 100 days, depending on pricing and depending on demand.
Right, because affordability is still a very big issue.
Correct, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're seeing your higher priced homes sit, your middle priced homes and the 200 range gone.
Yeah, instantly. Yeah, and a lot of those houses that do hit the market that are in that price range are probably move up buyers selling their first home and then moving up into another house, you think? Or
I mean, I've had a lot of first time home buyers that can afford 300.
Yeah, I mean, they said according to an article I read, the average first time home buyer is 38 to 42.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
and those people they're saving, so a lot of people aren't jumping the gun on buying houses immediately. A lot of them are waiting because they want to get everything of their life in check, before they buy a house. I think that's also helping with being able to afford slightly higher because you've prepared yourself. You're not, fresh out of college with student loans and all the things. You have a more balance.
Correct. Yeah, for sure. And I try to educate my buyers and let them know that, okay, so the interest rate is where it's at. Buy now, because if what they're predicting, and again, they don't have a crystal ball, but I keep hearing and reading that interest rates are going to drop middle of 2026 or this summer. Actually, I think I heard for actually quite a few people that the spring market is going to blow up. Okay. I haven't seen it yet. I thought maybe it was here because houses were hitting the market pretty quick and going off pretty quick because they were priced pretty decent for.
Right. But geopolitical, I think, really affects that, and people are scared.
Yeah, everything has come to a big screeching halt right now, kind of.
Yeah.
But if you are a buyer that is actually looking for a house right now, but you're like, oh, I just want to wait for the interest rates to drop, buy. Because if the market does...
We've been preaching this for years.
I know, we have.
Literally years.
I don't think anybody listens.
They don't. And unfortunately, to them, if you can afford, where things are now, the appreciation of your house is going to help you.
Well, I mean, if you can get into a house now, like I always try to play this scenario, you can get into a house now at the asking price or under, but you have a little bit of a higher interest rate. If you can swing it for 6 months to a year, do it. Because when the interest rates drop, you can refinance and you're not out there overpaying for your house.
Right.
I read an article, it was a couple of years ago. So it was during COVID, and after kind of the COVID boom happened with the housing, that homeowners, just to sell their house that overpaid, it would take them 8 to 14 years to break even.
Because they're paying more than what the house is worth.
Correct.
And that's a very slippery slope.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's how you get underwater, and that's how, things just spiral downward at that point. So, because now, I mean, when you do an appraisal on a house, it's based on comparable sales. It's not based on, well, it should be worth this.
Right, yeah.
Well, that's your opinion, but it's based on comparable sales that are comparable to your home. And within, the closer to your home, the better. So the closer that radius is, the better. But that can also depend a lot on where you are specifically. The market is going to vary everywhere.
Yep.
You know,
Oh
but
yeah.
the key thing is the appraisal is based on comparable sales. I don't think people understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So when a house, you know, so you can offer more, but if there's nothing in the area to support what you're
Justify it.
paying,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to put you in a hole.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you just think about it, like we've seen prices coming down on houses.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say coming down because your equity, it's still it's building. Like you're still getting equity out of your house.
Right.
Home prices are going to continue to rise, but they're not going to rise at the rate of what you overpaid.
Right.
And if you have to list your home higher than what you paid for it now, and you haven't made any updates, you're going to probably end up doing price reduction, and then now you just lost money, really,
Right.
essentially.
Right. And if you paid that much more over asking price as the house ended up appraised, let's say you bought it at 500, it appraised at 475. What makes you think now that it's worth 525? Like it doesn't appreciate in a blink of an eye.
Correct.
Either. So I feel like that's an important piece to understand.
Yeah. That's the one hard part when talking with sellers. They're like, well, we bought it for this and we want to sell it for this. And my first question is always, okay, what did you do to the property that gets you there?
Can you support what
Correct.
you want to ask? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And it's crazy. Like there's times that I take buyers through houses and I look at the history and I'm like, oh, it was purchased this year for this much. And they're asking, what? And so I do reach out to the agent if I have a buyer that's interested because I want to better understand why that house is listed for that. Like, okay, what did your sellers do to the property since they purchased
Right. Where
it?
are those numbers coming from?
Right. Because I was seeing, and these are just random years.
Right.
So you bought your house in 2022 and in 2024, you're wanting to sell it. I've actually even seen people buy them and sell them within a year and double the price. I shouldn't say double. That's exaggeration.
some of them do,
right.
And they say, "Why are you doing that?" Like,
yeah,
what's to support it?
Right, and the answer, well, the economy. Like, I can do that because everybody's overpaying.
Yeah, but the economy doesn't cause your house to appreciate by 50% in a year.
Correct. Yeah,
like the economy does not do it. The appreciation value is like 4. It's like a 4 point. I think it's like 4.2%. Don't quote me on that. I don't know for exact on that, but the appreciation is more like standard. It's not 30% every year your house is going to appreciate by.
No.
So it's being realistic.
Correct. And and again, like it depends on the market. What is selling in your market at what price that matches your property?
Right.
I mean, obviously, as realtors, we're a little bit different than appraisers because we can scope out a little bit farther than what appraisers do. But we still have to be within,
But you still do essentially what an appraiser does. Like you pull comparable sales in the area to support where people are coming in for their asking price.
Correct. Absolutely. And I think buyers are sick of it because a lot of buyers, and it is the economy too, but like, they're like, well, what did they change since then? I'm not paying that, they're getting smart savvy. So you're not going to put,
good.
It is good.
Yeah.
Because I hate when I have buyers and they're overpaying. Like a couple of my buyers were like, I bet you're just loving these COVID prices as a realtor. You just must be raking it in. And I'm like, no, because A, it was hard to win an offer, but B, it bothered me big time that people were overpaying. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to be upside down in their mortgage because what's the rule? What goes up
must come down.
Must come down.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, the economy's not crashing. I mean,
no,
we're not
crashing. No,
I get that a lot too. Like, oh, if the economy crashed, like
that's not
happening. Or not. Like,
no,
we don't want that to happen.
No, and I don't think the market's going to crash. I just think, it's going to come back down to a steady level.
Right.
So overpaying back then, I mean, I had buyers that went up 50,000 over asking. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
as long as they got the assets to do it, because sellers weren't going to be willing to renegotiate their
No.
price if the appraisal didn't come
No.
out correct either. And that's
Yeah.
important to understand is if you do go over asking and it doesn't appraise that way,
Yeah.
you're on the hook for the most part, unless you have it built into the offer that you can negotiate that value. But usually if you're going over asking, the seller is going to assume you have an extra 20 grand, 10, whatever, to cover the appraisal gap because there may be one.
Yeah. And that's what I also explain to my buyers when they are purchasing a house and they're going above the asking price. And I even have that same conversation with my sellers. Okay. So it's across the board. It's the same no matter what. Okay. If you're selling a house and the house doesn't appraise, you really have two options. You have to ask the buyer to bring the extra cash to closing, or you have to drop the price. It's one of two things. Otherwise, it goes back on the market.
And and then that value is, it's not, I don't know, that's a public knowledge. So is it if the house is underappraised? Like no one really knows that. So if it goes back on the market, they can say, well, it didn't appraise at what we were asking.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, no, that's not public knowledge. But still, to throw your house back on the market.
People are going to ask questions like, why?
They're going to ask questions. And in this economy, now you have an even bigger hill to climb.
Yeah.
Because it came back on the market and you've just lost, 25-ish days, 28, 30, depending.
Depending when the appraisal was done?
Correct. Yeah. Exactly. So you've lost that time period. Now it goes back on the market. Buyers are not like, what's wrong with it? Why is it back on the market? I don't know if I want to look at it. I don't know if I want to offer because they're nervous. So it's always best to try to work together.
Right.
So like when I am working with sellers and they do get multiple offers, yes, it's great. And you want to take the highest number possible.
Right.
Like, yes, but
money.
Yeah, exactly. But you also have to think about, is it going to appraise?
Right.
If it sells for this, if we accept the offer at this, is it going to appraise out? Or are we going to have to meet the buyer somewhere?
Right. Well, I feel like usually too, like I've listened to you price out homes before. Usually you find a range that you listed in, and then usually you meet kind of in the middle. So sometimes going over isn't the worst thing if the home,
correct.
Because you can usually tell walking like, well, I probably listed for, so then there is that. So it's not saying that every purchase price can't go over is a bad idea. It's just usually
not
price,
bad at all.
You want to price it in a range to make it competitive.
Yeah.
Or appeasing to people. Like, hey, this house is priced just right, come in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I tell my sellers, I will give you the data, I will show you the numbers, and I will give you a price range of what I would recommend listing it for. But you hired me, you are my boss, you can set it at what you want.
But be prepared.
Right.
You might not get what you want.
Correct. Yeah, if something isn't moving, we need to have a conversation after a week or two and say, okay, what is it?
Right.
So.
And usually you get feedback too when people walk through, like, it's the price. Right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Agents used to be better at filling out feedback. Now they don't.
That's not helpful.
Yeah. Well, there's kind of a controversy around it.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't happened here, but I've heard about it happening in like California or New York, like all your bigger states, cities, whatever you want to, so an agent fills out the survey or information, however you want to put it, and it goes back to the listing agent and then the sellers. Well, if the sellers are offended by that feedback, and then the buyers come back to say, you know what, we can't find another house. Yes, we like this. Now they already have your first feedback. Yeah, I've heard of situations like that. So I think all agents are getting a little bit more careful on what they're putting.
Interesting. That seems kind of childish to me. To like.
Oh, I agree.
I get how you can be offended, but especially if it's a home that you love and you built it and they don't like your, whatever, the layout of your kitchen or something.
Yeah. I did get pretty strong feedback. I showed one of my listings. And so I showed it to the buyer. and they weren't interested. So I said, the seller likes an update from each showing to kind of see, why you didn't like it or what you did like about it. Can you give me some information that I can share with my seller? And they said, sure. They typed up, just an email of what was all wrong with it or what they didn't like about it. Not wrong with it, but wow.
Really?
That was pretty harsh. And I felt bad sharing it, but
Wow.
so now think about that though.
I mean, that's insulting too. I mean, I guess it's like a two-sided coin. Gotta try and find a healthy balance on it.
Yeah, when I talk to my buyers, if they don't like the house, I'm always like, okay, why? Help me understand. And then, I put it in a nice. Not most of my buyers aren't like that. They're pretty nice and open. But and I do fill out the feedback because as an agent, we want to know our sellers are going, well, how'd the showing go? How'd the showing go? I don't know. So,
Right, because and the feedback is used if there's anything they could do differently.
correct.
Like if it says, well, there was too much, personal touches in the house. Like there's you could pictures of their kids or whatever. So I mean, I'm sure that helps with the feedback. And when we sold our first house in 2019, we had an agent and their buyer walk through, and they were doing a good job in filling out the feedback. I mean, a lot of the things were things that we couldn't really take care of because it's an old house. Like we can't change the fact that the stairs are steep to go upstairs.
Correct.
Or anything. So one of the agents on the feedback said, "We know likey ceiling too low." I was like, "Are you
What?
5 years old?" It literally said, "We know likey." I was like, "Are you trying to be like? Are you like a joking with me? Like you literally put that on the feedback report that." And the ceilings are too low, which I mean, I do get because again, it was an older house. We had slanted ceilings in the bedroom, so I get that. Again, I can't change that. That's just the structure of the house.
Correct.
It is what it is.
Correct.
But I was like, who puts "we know likey" on a feedback form? Like that just blew my mind. Yeah, maybe their child filled it out. I don't know, but if they
the agents have
if they didn't like it and they were 12 years old, the ceiling should be just fine. Shouldn't be too low.
Right.
I was just mind blown by that.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are some things that are definitely out of control. Now, I guess some things that are within control, other things that sellers could do, that might help the resale of their home, like especially in this market being a little bit slower, other things that might make it move a little bit quicker, especially if they have what if they want to buy a new house? They gotta wait for their house to sell, or they bought a new home and they don't want to keep the current house because they don't want two mortgages. Are there some things that you recommend people do right now, kind of during that downtime until the spring market really does ramp up?
Pricing.
Okay.
Be strategic with your pricing. You have to be competitive. Nobody wants to be like, well, I want this for it, and then your agent goes, well, you need to list it here.
Take the emotion out of it.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. And that's the hard part is, listen to your agent. They've got the data. They're not coming from an emotional place. They're not coming from looking online saying, well, that house sold for that house sold for that. But you know why? We look at stuff. So when I do a listing on a house and to come up with the price, it takes me, I would say, at least an hour.
Really?
Yes, because I do it thoroughly. Maybe too thorough? I don't know. But I put a lot of research.
I mean, you're supporting your buyers or your sellers if you do too thorough. I mean, because you want to make sure you have the right data.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I run it through a couple different programs. I check pricing, and I kind of come up with a range. And then it's up to the seller to kind of know what or say what they want to do there.
Right.
If they rely on me, well, then I tell them what I would list it at. And then we go from there. But yeah, if you want to sell your house quick, price it strategically. Depersonalize the house.
That's a big one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And then also declutter, right? So you want your buyer to come in and be able to go, oh, I want the couch there. And, oh, we could put the TV up there. Or,
Yeah.
You have to kind of make it somewhat empty so they can visualize their stuff there. Now, if they're walking into a house and there's clutter everywhere, there's
closets packed full and clothes
there or stuff here. people don't see the value. That actually brings their value of the house, their value, their opinion, however you want to say it, down. Because A, the house looks smaller, and if there's stuff everywhere, it doesn't look like it should. As
Right.
where if you empty it out, you're like, oh, this is a brand new house. I mean, just think about when you, little Miss OCD, who is already disgustingly organized, think about when you clean an area
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, whoa, this doesn't even look like the same room.
Right. Right. Well, and the thing is, if you were selling your house, you got to move it anyways.
Correct.
You know, it's not like
Absolutely.
you're moving it for nothing. When we sold our house, we put a lot of things in totes, and then we kept them. I think we put them in the basement for a while because it's just the basement. But we toted a lot of things that we could live without these things for the next 2 months, kind of thing. Like we put a lot of things in totes and put them in storage, or some of the things I think we even took to my in-laws' house just to get them out of the house to help it sell.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I have been doing myself this year, pretending like I'm going to move. And so I go into a room and I'm like, so if I have to move, I have to take all this. Oh. You know, so I'm trying. It's not going as well as I had planned.
I can help you.
Will you please?
I have no emotional attachment to any of your things. I have no problem throwing anything away.
Go for it. I just got rid of a whole bunch of clothes and it doesn't even look like I made a dent.
Yeah.
I mean, but let's be real. As women, we're like, we'll fit into those jeans again someday.
Right.
Don't worry about it. I'm going to save them.
Right. Or I might want to wear those shoes for one event, and then I'm not going to get rid of them. But I've gotten better at not doing that. Usually my problem is I purge it, and then I was like, oh, where did that go? Like, dang it, I got rid of it.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have those, like, just in case. I have a tote in the basement of just in case we want to come back to this.
That's what I actually want to get. I mean, my basement right now is so unorganized because I've just been putting everything down there and I haven't had the time to organize it. But I want to get a whole bunch of totes, label everything, put it in there. So if I move, it's already packed, you know. And then I also want a tote where I put stuff in, clothes, appliances, or whatever, and be like, okay, if I didn't touch it within a year, I'm not even going to look at it. I'm just going to get rid of it.
Right.
That's the trick. You can't look at it.
Right. If you have not had a need for it, you know, talking about that, I forgot. I think it was on, I don't know what it was, but they say go in your closet and turn all of your hangers the other direction.
I did that.
Did you? So then all the hangers that are still facing like this way on the bar versus this way, those are the ones you never went for like a year, and then just get rid of all the hangers hanging that direction.
I just left them hang that way. They never became unhung that way.
They never moved. It's just, they're still hung cattywampus.
Yeah. I'm like, I was supposed to get rid of them last year.
Well, then that means you still can get rid of them if they're still in that direction.
Well, now they're just comfortable there. So.
Okay, well, I guess that plan worked for some people.
Yeah, it did not work for me. I did try that. It did not work for me.
I've heard it helps. I don't know.
No, I think I'm the type that needs to put it in. I'm not even going to say a tote because I'm not going to want to get rid of the tote. So I think I'll put it in a tote, and then in 6 months, I'll put it in a box. And if I don't.
But then you're touching it again. So you're going to go through it again and be like, oh, that's where that went.
No, I'm just going to take the tote and dump it in the box.
Sounds a lot extra work. I just put it in a box to begin with.
Okay, fine. I'll put it in a box. And then if I don't touch it in a year, then I'll just load it into my car and take it to Goodwill.
So it can stay in your trunk for a year?
That does happen too. Like now.
Right. Because I mean, I feel like most people are notorious for keeping, oh, I'm going to go to Goodwill. And then it's 6 months later and that box is still in your trunk.
Oh, that's happened several times.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, oh, I was going to take this to Goodwill. I forgot what was in here. What do? I go through it and I'm like, why would I get rid of that? And then I wear it. And then one of the kids are like, what are you wearing? I'll be like, my favorite shirt.
That you were going to get rid of.
So I'm back to square one. I'm like, okay. Well.
So no wonder you can't get anything done. You're just constantly like circling around the same thing. Sellers, don't take note of that. Yes. Do as I say, not as I do.
That is my favorite quote. Do as I say, not as I do.
Right, but you're not selling your house either.
No, I'm not selling my house.
Yeah. So
no, but I'm just trying to get more organized. So, you know, for you sellers that are thinking about selling, couple little tips for you. Just walk
Yeah.
through your house and pretend like you're going to sell it. And if you had to pack it up, how much of a pain would it be?
Mm-hmm. Do you recommend them like painting the house neutral colors or anything?
Yes and no. It all depends, because you're going to walk into a house, and if they just repainted the entire house, you're going to walk in, you're going to be like, no, I want color here, I want color there, so if I think that repainting is going to help get you a little bit more of a price, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
It's the bright colors that
Right.
you got to paint that if you want more. You don't want to paint it, well,
Because people have a hard time seeing past the personality. Because some
correct.
some
Yeah,
rooms are painted to personality.
correct.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of people that, you know, if there's a lot of marks on the wall, well, do we have to repaint the whole thing? If you have that paint, which I always recommend you hang on to,
Mm-hmm.
just touch it up, because, I would hate for the seller to go out, spend a whole bunch of money on repainting when the buyer moves in and then just changes it anyways.
Right.
So, yeah, no, not things like that. I usually don't recommend unless it's absolutely needed.
Okay, so it doesn't really change enough.
It doesn't add the
Not
value.
usually.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Painting doesn't really affect the value unless
It's just a visual appearance of it.
Yeah.
I feel like most people can see beyond a paint color.
Yeah, most people can.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, after you took how many hours to paint that chevron wall,
8 hours.
I bet you that baby was gone.
Oh, I'm sure
in
it
an
is.
hour.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. And even if I lived there now, I would have painted over it because that was a thing, and now I'm over it. And that's the thing, is a lot of things are trends. Like right now, wallpaper is.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I want to wallpaper one area, but then I think about all the years I had to take wallpaper off.
It's the worst. But they may make it different now, though, too.
It's called peel and stick.
Does it actually stay though?
I don't
versus
know.
a glue? Because I remember at my parents' house, I had to take the wallpaper off, and I had to like spray that stuff, and then I had to use like I think I had a bunch of
coarser.
Yeah, to like rip it apart and then try, and that was the worst.
Yeah. Well, Facebook tells me, and I've not seen it on TikTok yet, but I've seen it on Facebook, the peel and stick, and I'm half tempted to get just a little bit, because there's this one wall I want to do something crazy on.
I mean, it adds a lot of character. If you want to have an accent wall, because I feel like those are still a really big thing. That adds a lot of character to that room or that nook that you want to.
Yeah. Well, look at my closet, for example.
Right. That's cool, though.
Yeah. I betcha they probably put that in there when they built the house.
So it went out of style, then went back into style, all, within the past like 60 years or 80 years.
Yeah.
What was the house built?
1951.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love it. But it's starting, like I can see areas where it's coming off, and I don't want that to happen.
Don't touch it.
I'm not, because I love it.
Yeah.
It's
that's a big
awesome.
trend coming back is the wallpaper.
Yeah. But I'll try the peel and stick, and I'll report back.
Yeah, let me know how that goes. I think the hardest part would be, if it's a design, is to line up each of the panels so it looks like one seamless piece, versus having, because you're gonna be able to see where everything stops, with the panel, depending on how big of a space it is that you're using.
Yeah, good point. Mine's only a little spot.
Yeah.
But if anybody has purchased the peel and stick wallpaper, let us know.
Because I know people use that like in their campers. They'll use peel and stick tile to put in their kitchen. I've seen that before in campers.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it's not heavy. That doesn't add any weight.
Right. I'm not talking that. I'm talking actual wallpaper.
No, I know. But I'm just saying peel and stick is kind of in the right spot. It would be good. Not in your bathroom.
I don't even know if I'd say your kitchen.
No. That's more like an office, bedroom, closet kind of thing.
Because I've thought about just doing the peel and stick tile for my kitchen just to update it for now. But I'm like, let's be honest.
That'd look really great with the metal cabinets.
I know. I was going to paint the metal cabinets too.
I mean, that works too.
It was a fleeting thought. It was like, oh, I should paint my cabinet. No.
Yeah.
That's over.
Yeah. Take them out.
Yep.
Rip them out.
Yep. I'm going to.
Okay. So circling back. So if anybody has, we don't want to get too in detail on the nitty gritty, because literally every situation is different.
Oh, absolutely.
Every buyer, every seller,
every house,
every loan,
every offer.
Yeah, every single thing is different. So if you have a specific question for Bridget or myself in regards to selling your house, or if you want to learn more
Buying.
about interest rates or buying, or you want to know how to, bridge your equity from one house to other, like we can help give you more one-on-one information on that. That's not meant for a public forum because, again, everything is subjective to your situation directly.
Absolutely.
So do you have any questions or any scenarios you want us to run past us, feel free to comment below or just DM us and we'll get back to you on that. But I think that wraps us up today on, the market update, and hopefully come April, May, we'll see some shifts and our next update will be a little bit different.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right.
All right. See you next time.
See you next time.